and language.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
You write your first draft with your heart, and you rewrite with your head.
Seize the day.
Well, hello there. This is the Writers Showcase. This is a monthly show where we introduce some of the best writers from all over the world, and we have a roundtable discussion about the writing process and all that good stuff. So thank you for being here. My name is Ryan. I am your host for these proceedings of And I Quote channel. Joining us on this episode of the Writers Showcase is, my goodness gracious, once again, it's an esteemed group of writers. Join us, ladies first. Got to do it. Newcomer to the scene, but she is making a huge impact with her book, Secrets of Westview. Lindsay Goodpester's in the building. Hello, young lady. How are you?
Hey, hi. I'm doing well. What an intro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ladies first. Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invite. You're
quite welcome. We're happy that you're here. And also joining us on this panel of esteemed writers, someone who was supposed to be here in a previous life. He got caught up. Maybe he time traveled to the wrong dimension. Maybe it was the wrong year. Maybe he didn't go 88 miles per hour fast enough. I don't know. But he's here now. John Newton, what's up, man? Better late than never, right?
What year is this?
I wish I could say it's 1985, but unfortunately it's not. It's 2026. No. Things have changed. Yeah, I was going to say things have changed a little bit since skateboards, JVC camcorders, and Nikes, shoes worn at a mall were a thing. But hey, we can still go 88 miles per hour and see some serious shiznit, if we had to. I'm just saying. Also, good Lord. Also join us as a kind soul. Please welcome indie writer Ben Shankman is here. Hello, good sir. How are you?
I am doing just fine. Happy to be here with this esteemed panel of guests.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're thankful that you're here. Also thankful for this young gentleman who's written not one, not two, but three. It's a trinity, because these days, Sydney, you got to make a sequel. The writer of the Zeta 5 series, R.D. Marino, who's got the wise stages of Yoda and Vader behind him. What's going on, man? Congrats on book 3 coming out recently. Good on you.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Happy to be with this panel and see what we're going to do. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're quite welcome. We're happy that all of you are here. We're also happy that you are here, maybe watching and listening to this program right now. So treat yourself. Don't forget to like and share this with your closest friends. Either join us on a live or on a replay. Thank you so much for doing so. If you have any questions for our panel of writers, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. More than happy to get those as they come in respectively. With that piece of business, I would say, out of the way, Ben, what would you say makes a great book, in your opinion?
It's a big question, because not everyone likes the same thing, right? What makes a good book is that it is telling a good story in the right genre for the reader to experience. Books are art as much as anything else. So I think the thing that really gets it for me, because I'm an urban fantasy author as well as a reader, I enjoy character-focused books with good narratives, great dialogue, the occasional twist here and there that I am said to insert into my books. So yeah, I really think what makes a good book is that it is well written and tells a good story to the intended reader, because that's an important thing to add. The intended reader is who you want your audience to be, because authors will often also get discouraged when people who aren't their target readers consume their books and then say, well, that wasn't any good, when in fact there's nothing wrong with the book and it's just not hit the right people yet. So yeah, I think that's what makes a good book, is a good storyline, good characters, good dialogue in whatever the right combination of those things are for the genre you're trying to hit.
Very good response. Appreciate it, good sir. Appreciate you answering first question right out of the gate. And how about you, Lindsay? What is it in your mind that makes a great book?
I think the books that I keep coming back to that I can't put down are books that make you feel something. There's a reason that you keep coming back to them. You can't put them down. You want to keep reading one more chapter. You find yourself staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning. You tell your friends about them. they make you feel something. You forget where you are. You get lost in the book. And parts of why that is because there's characters that you as the reader care about. And as a writer, you have to remember that. Characters are really important. You have to write dynamic characters that your readers are going to connect with. Characters that have arcs and characters that have flaws. And so I think as a reader, the books that I don't want to finish, I don't want to leave that world, I don't want to leave those characters behind, I find myself purposely slowing it down so that I don't get to the end of the book. Those are the books that make memorable books to me. And then when I do end up finishing those books, even though I prolong the end finishing those books, once I finish them, they leave me with a feeling of something, whether it's hope or anger or loss or heartbreak. And then I want to give those books to a friend or recommend them. And it's a feeling they leave you with. So those are the books. They just leave that lasting impact.
Mm-hmm. I see your point. So in other words, hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear. See what I did there? I know. They don't pay me these non-existent big dollars for nothing on this show. It just seems to happen sometimes. Man, we're going to miss you, Donald Sutherland. R.I.P., man. Great actor. Great as President Snow, too, even though I wanted to punch him in the face most of that. Most of those movies, I really wanted to just ram my fist into that man's face. But then again, it's Donald Sutherland. How could I do that? He's such a great actor. But anyway, that's, hey, doing his job, playing a great antagonistic character for that time. So, yeah. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Characters.
Yeah.
Just feel like punch him in the face. Anyway, so I'm remembering certain scenes where it just really ticked me off. And I'm just like, oh, I hate this guy. But aside from that, John, what is it in your mind that makes a great book?
Well, I would agree with Lindsay in saying that it's the Feynman put down ratio, how hard it is to put the book down. But I'd go a little bit further and say it's also, even though if you put the book down, how much those characters or situations still stay with you and resonate with you the next day or even a year or so later. And you find yourself maybe even, see, I wonder if how many of the other authors here kind of do the same thing with hearing your characters speak. And it's like you have to exercise them a little bit and get them out of your mind and onto paper so other people have to deal with them too. But a good book is one that does engage enough so that you're not looking at the pages and say, that was stupid. Why'd you do that? But that you do find yourself engaging with them more during the story and even afterwards.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's definitely understandable for sure. And R.D. Maria, the wise sage, when 900 years look as good, you will not. I'm just wondering, what is in your mind? I can't help it, man. You got the posters behind you, for Pete's sake. But what is it in your mind that makes a great story, other than the fact that you have really good taste in wall art?
Yeah, for me, so I agree with all three. I mean, you have to have a good art, so you have to have something that draws people in, but the characters need to be there, and you need to feel something with the characters as you're going along this journey with them when you're reading the books. And if your readers are in the right genre that you're writing in, and they're following along and understanding what you're doing. But the other thing too is, like John said, is these characters, when you're writing, do speak to you, and so you have to put what they're telling you on paper there, and that also helps draw out what the characters are and how that helps make a great book from my perspective.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. 100%. Thank you all for answering the first question that was posed to the field. Just to give everyone a healthy reminder out there, this is the greatest show of all time that you never heard of until you do, known as the Writer's Showcase. Don't forget to like and share if you're joining us live on a replay. Thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for these fine folks, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. Ben, what is your favorite spot to write when you're piecing together these stories?
Yeah, I have a little bit of a ritual that I do, not like, no sacrificial anything, but I go to the coffee shops. I live in Western Massachusetts that has a fantastic set of independent coffee shops. And it's actually something, it came out of my partner and I doing this together, because they're an artist. They do they draw and do digital art, and they also like to knit and read and whatnot. And I write. And so we would go on these coffee dates together, where we would go to a coffee shop, get ourselves a beverage, maybe a snack, and then I'd sit and write, and they'd sit and do art or craft or read books. And we have whiled away many hours doing that. And it's evolved to the point where I just like writing at the coffee shops now more than I do at home. Like, I can be productive at home, but I really do my best work when I am not at home. Too many distractions there. So the little ritual of putting myself into a very intentional space, and I have to pay the coffee tax to do so, is okay. So yeah, favorite place to write is a good independent coffee shop, preferably with a nice atmosphere.
Well, that's fair enough. When you walk into these coffee shops, coffee shops, do they always start singing where everybody knows your name?
I joke that even though I've been there 100 times and have probably written like 4 of my 7 books there, they still don't necessarily know who I am.
It is a shame.
They get a lot. Look, they're busy people. Also, like, I'm a firm believer in this is their job. They don't owe me knowing who I am. But there is one barista there named Ben. So sometimes I even get to say, when they're like, your name, like, they're like, they know it. I'm like, it's your name. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh man, because I was gonna say, if they start chiming in that tune, that's awesome. I was gonna say, because it's classic. It just is. I was left treating you, Norm. Like I just ran over its dog. Anyway, Normisms. Look them up. They're on social media. They're everywhere. So many of them. Lindsay, what's your favorite spot to write?
Actually, I'm the opposite of Ben. I'm a homebody, and I think I've tried to write in coffee shops, but I get too distracted from everybody else coming in and out and not being in my home element. So I do have a writing spot at home. It's actually right here is where I like to write. I have a desk set up here. And the other place that I like to write at home is actually outside. I have a covered patio out back. And so rain or shine. I'm actually an educator, so I do a lot of my writing during my chunks of break time from the school district. And so I crank out a lot of my writing in bigger writing chunks. And so whether it's spring break or summer break, and I like to write outside in the elements. A lot of my scenes in my novel takes place outside. And I think it helps me when I'm writing to be kind of in the elements. And so it's just really calming and it's not distracting. But I do write in this zone or outside, out back. And that routine for me is really, really helpful because it centers me in those 2 places, because I usually don't do anything else in those 2 places. So it's my writing spot. And I only write during certain times. So it's very, very routine for me. And I do drown out the extra noise because I do sneak peek. I do put in headphones, so I'm not as distracted either. So that's my writing spot. Yeah. I
see. So in other words, you took Yoda's advice to heart and you feel the force around you. Its energy surrounds us.
That's right.
And binds us. Mm-hmm. So you feel it in here, the tree, the rock, the grass, everywhere. So, good on you, Lindsay. You are one with the force and the force is with you. Is that right? Probably. If you don't have that stamped on a poster and up in your office right now, you probably should, because that's awesome. It makes sense, right? Whatever works. It's all good. We're all friends here. How about you, John? Where's your favorite spot to write? Do you have one?
Yeah, I'm probably a lot like Lindsay in this case, although outside is not the spot that I would use. I do have a writing desk inside at home. I told myself there's a computer there, and I told myself that this is going to be a dedicated computer just for writing. However, it has a nice GPU on it, and so it's migrated a little bit over to a bit of a gaming computer, which is bad and evil because it sometimes will draw me in. It's funny when you write. I'm wondering how many other people are like this too. When you write, you suddenly find all these other things that you can be doing instead. So but it's generally a good place to write.
I gotcha. Just stay away from the games so much.
That's right.
Hey, you're talking to someone who grew up playing what is it called? Doom and Wolfenstein and the Marios, the Sonics. I mean, there's some stuff I played. It's going back a number of years because I'm very, very old, but still, I digress. R.D. Marino, I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite spot to write in? Let me guess. It's in that place that you're sitting in right now with all the crazy amount of wonderful artwork and props behind you.
Yeah, so actually right here is pretty much my favorite spot. I do have another one in the house in one of the smaller bedrooms. I'll sit in there when I'm in the house at night and write. But during the day, especially in the wintertime, when I don't have a lot of projects going on outside, I'm in here writing, and it's very comfortable for me. I don't play music. I do have the TV going, but it has to be something that I've seen before, so it's repetitive. So if I ever look up, I know what's going on, and I can just go right back to what I'm doing writing, and it doesn't distract me at that point.
Gotcha. Hey, never works, man. But I do gotta say, you got a pretty good looking writing office back there. At least with some of the stuff that we're seeing at this point. I'm just saying, man, it's not too shabby. Everybody wins. I'm just saying. Good stuff. So thank you all for answering that part of the segment here on this show. What kinds of stories do you like to read, Ben? What is it that you read? Do you particularly stick within your genre, or you go outside of it?
I do read a fair bit. I used to read a lot more broadly. I used to read everything. I'd read sci-fi and fantasy and just contemporary fiction, literary fiction, but I keep going back to urban fantasy. It's the kinds of stories that have inspired most of my writing because, I don't know if this is just all us people that grew up in the 80s and 90s, and, we all longed for something special, something magical in the real world. And so I always go back to urban fantasy as my primary genre to consume. I will say that goes a little bit like outside now, and that like there's some progression fantasy or lit RPG that is also contemporary. So just as an example, the very popular Dungeon Crawler Carl starts in the real world and then gets real complicated from there, but it hits a lot of those same buttons. So yeah, I'm a sucker for a story that is part of the world and then incorporates a lot of that into it. Like my stories, I incorporate a lot of mythology, magic, and religion into my books because I don't need to make things up when there's such a rich like tapestry of stuff to use in your writing. So yeah, I read the same things that I write primarily, though I do expand out from that, especially if I get a good recommendation.
Oh, all right. All good, man. All good. How about you, Lindsay? What do you like to read? Stories that are particularly within the genre you currently write in, or you kind of venture outside of it?
I mean, growing up, Harry Potter will always be my ride or die forever favorite. And then beyond that, surprise, being a YA dystopian author, I absolutely loved that genre. And as an adult, I dipped more into finding that I enjoyed more like mystery. I like when there's female main characters that have a little bit more of an edge to them. They're dynamic. And then there's some heart to them. There's something that there's worth fighting for. There's something that they're trying to overcome. There's a big character arc for them. But there's still a twist. I love mystery myself. I like trying to solve a mystery. Those are the TV shows that I like to watch. And so I like to read about them as well. And so some of my favorite books that I found myself really enjoying were actually turned into shows or movies, like Gone Girl or Girl on a Train, and now coming up Verity. And so not necessarily like the most literary, complex books, but they're really enjoyable to me. And so I think when I was writing Secrets of Westview, it was really important to me to have a strong female main character. Cameron, my character, is complex in that she's doesn't have a family. She doesn't know where she came from. And she's searching kind of more on her identity and who she is. And she's kind of navigating that. But then within Westview, this academy, she's uncovering that maybe not everything that she thought she grew up knowing is true. And she's pushing the boundaries, and she's facing a lot of backlash from that. And so there's a lot of twists and turns, but I enjoy that, that everything that you think may be true in a book isn't actually true. And so I like the thrills.
Spilled, chilled. I gotcha. So I guess in the words of the late Peter Cullen, there's more to this than meets the eye.
Exactly.
So, R.I.P. Optimus Prime. There's never going to be another one. That's for sure. So many people recently too. It's crazy. But our heart goes out to all the fans and families of those loved ones. My gosh. But anywho, what do you think? What do you think, John? What do you like to read? Stuff in your genre, outside your genre, or you go to 31 flavors like Baskin Robbins? What are you doing over there?
I kind of stick with the rocky road there, which would be my genre, and then branch out every once in a while to others. Do fantasy and science fiction, I guess, we're kind of maybe in the same domain. So you get the classics like Lord of the Rings, and Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, others along those lines. But then also hitting a little bit in the thrillers and lit RPG, which seems to be really popular now. I do enjoy some of those, but that does seem to get a little repetitious after a while, that genre. But and I want to keep up with what I do have a couple of kids that are doing a lot of reading. I want to keep up with what they're reading as well. And they're kind of my target audience. So I want to make sure, okay, what are you guys picking up? What are you doing? So I want to hear that also.
Makes sense. It's good research, right? About your target demographic and all that stuff.
Yep.
Definitely works. Makes a lot of sense. What about you? RD? What do you like to read? Stuff that's specifically sci-fi, be outside of it a little bit, or do you just stick with Star Wars?
Yeah, so
Star Trek doesn't exist. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I actually like to read sci-fi and a little bit of fantasy, but lately I've been trying to help a lot of other indie authors, so I've been reading a lot of their stuff. So it's taken me all over the map, from some personal fiction, family fiction type stuff, some romantasy type books, some different things like that, a couple of thrillers. I now have a friend who's written a couple of kids' books, so I agreed to do an arc for her. So I'm going to start jumping into some kids' books and read those to help her out with that, to do those arcs. And then hopefully I can get back. I was at a book fair or book con in Cincinnati, and I swapped books with another sci-fi author. So once I get done with those arcs, I'm hoping to be able to jump into his book.
Wow, look at you jumping to all corners of the galaxy, far, far away, RD. Yeah. Man, that is impressive. Most impressive. See what I did there? There's your quote for the night, man. I just gave you one. Hold on to that one for me. Just saying. I want to give a healthy reminder. This is the Writer Showcase on NA Quote Channel. Don't forget to like and share. If you're watching this live or on the replay, thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for our guests, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat with that piece of business out of the way. Ben, how do you interact with your fans?
I have fans now.
Yeah, don't you have like 2.5 million on Instagram, maybe 3 million on TikTok? What are you talking about, Willis? Come on, man. Give us the skinny here.
No, I interact with my fans however it is that they ever get in touch with me. Some people reach out to me by email, which is delightful. I respond to every email from a legitimate human being that I get. That second bit being the most depressing part, in that I think all of us authors, especially indie authors, are currently suffering from an inundation of bots and scams these days. So I get I get a lot more communication from fake marketers that want to tell me why my book isn't selling than I do from my readers. But I'll shout out a great Facebook group. It's called Indie Fantasy Addicts. My latest release, My Brother's Keeper, which is a Jewish urban fantasy with like a crime noir thriller, was selected as one of the books for their summer reading challenge. And so I've been engaging a lot more in that community. I ran a game during the summer, but like those kinds of reader groups that are reader focused, there's no self promo. It's just about the readers reading books, making recommendations, and being a community. I think that's like one of the best places that I can engage with some of my readers and hopefully find some more, because as people read my books, then they get recommended to other people. Other than that, social media, I'm on all of the platforms except for the Bluebird, because, all social media is a trash fire. Some are worse than others, that one especially. And, I do occasionally hear from a reader on there, but I think also readers are, there's a level of numb that they get to indie authors with our unfortunate necessity for trying to like promote our work. I'm also just really bad about being on social media consistently. I'm trying to be better about that. So yeah, mostly in like reader focused groups and social media when people reach out.
Gotcha. And what was the name of that group again? Indie Fantasy. What was it?
Indie Fantasy Addicts.
Addicts,
It's a great place. And it's no tolerance for generative AI and all. It's really a great reader group.
Oh, might have to check this out. You've piqued my interest here. This is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Good thing I wrote. Good thing we have paper and pen that we still use in this society. I wrote this down, guys. I wrote it down.
I'm pretty sure this is being recorded for posterity, so I think
true,
you're okay.
True. Yeah, I know there's something known as the replay, which I always promote on any show that I've ever been on in the history of my podcasting career. What of it that it is? I mean, I always say, well, if you can't catch the slide, just go back and watch the replay. It happens every time. But no, it does help to write things down, because as studies have shown over the years, you're 10 times more likely to remember something you may have written down on a sheet of paper than you are to texting it in your phone. It's just. I'm sorry. I hear things. All right. I hear things. But I digress. Lindsay, how do you interact with your 400 million fans that you have already?
I was going to say, Ben already stole my joke. I was going to say that too. I was like, what fans? I actually just released my debut novel this summer. So I'm actually just now starting to grow my reader base. And so right now, it honestly is just word of mouth. I do have a social media page. I use mostly Instagram just because that's what I'm familiar with and that's what I'm growing, and it is starting to grow. But it is word of mouth. And I do feel like kind of the answer that I gave about what makes a good book, it's when a book makes you feel something and you can't put it down, and then you want to share it with your best friend or your sister or, somebody that you really want to share, you have to read this book. And I think that because I just released my debut novel this summer, you have to give it a chance for readers to actually read it. And I've had so many readers reach out to me through social media, or a lot of people who actually know me personally, friends and colleagues and neighbors. And they said, I read it in 2 days, or I read it in 1 week, or I stayed up all night to finish it, or the opposite of, I did not want to finish this book. I intentionally waited 2 days because I didn't want it to end. And so my book it's making my reader or my author heart so happy, because it's doing exactly what I hoped one day that it's, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
My
All
answer
right.
broke the internet.
Yeah,
No,
I was going to
just
say.
kidding.
I think you cut out on us there for a few moments here and there, but I think we got the gist of what you were saying. So, anything you want-
I just saying that my readers are reaching out, that they are reading my book and they're so happy with it that they want to share it, and they can't wait to finish it, or they're not wanting to finish it. And so it really is word of mouth, and then they're sharing it with the next person, and it's just kind of growing grassroots, but they're reaching out to me in person or social media. And so that's my hope. I don't want to create false fans, just to grow members on social media. Like, I actually want to create fans who read the book and want to share. And so it's growing slowly, my fans, but I couldn't be happier. So I'm just genuinely creating fans and interacting with readers who love the book and want to share their love for my characters in the story. And I couldn't be happier.
I gotcha. Well, yeah, and it makes complete sense. And with that happening, the release of your, like you said, your first book earlier this summer, there's only one way to react to that, folks.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Couldn't have said it better myself, but they did it, so I'll let them slide. But yeah, congrats. We're all happy for you, honestly.
Thank you.
That's just it's more phenomenal. It's stupendous. It's amazing. You're the big winner. You're a big winner tonight. You're a big winner in more ways than one. With that being said, before we get too far into Lindsay Goodpass's debut celebration of becoming an author and all, where was I? Oh yeah, John, how do you interact with your 250,000 fans out there? I'm just making these numbers up as I go, brother. I don't know where
I don't know if they're getting bigger or smaller.
I don't know because I'll be honest with you. I didn't tell Lindsay this, but I forgot to tell her. I was never good at math, Lindsay. I was never good at math. So
that would make sense with the numbers.
Me either. It's okay.
I never was. But yeah, John, how do you interact with your fans? Inquirers want to know.
Oh, well, I talk to my mom and dad at least once a week. So that works out well. No, there more of them, hopefully, than those two. But one thing I've been doing recently, and I belong to a local writers group, and that's been I would suggest that for any author, even if you're already published, that you be a part of a group, because if it's a good group where they critique each other's works and respect what each other have and stuff, our group has done more than just that. We've branched out since we've all started publishing into what are you doing in terms of marketing. And one of those things that's come up for marketing is going to book sales, going to book fairs, and getting those logged in. Now, I have to give credit to another author who you've already interviewed before, and that's Cindy Brick. She has helped point me in the right direction. Say, hey, they got another one coming up. Sign up for this one. You have to do this now before midnight. And so we'll sign up, and there's a lot of local book fairs we've gone to. Some of them have been total bombs, but others have not. And I think what's really good about that is you get the personal interaction with readers there, people who have read the book or who are first going to, and you get to see them make that decision, whether they want to pick it up or not. There's been a few times I got this whole pitch going. What would you do with a stone that could heal anything? And I have props, and I go through everything with this, and I give them the sales pitch, and I watch their body language to see when they are, okay, they're bored, they're looking at their watch or whatever. So there's been a few times where I start and the person says, yeah, I'll get both. And just wait a minute. You can't do that. You have to listen to what I say first. But this interaction with these people here, I think, is good. Since most authors tend to be more introverts than extroverts,
right?
It can be something that's difficult. But you know what? You're talking one-on-one with people, and even introverts do that. So I think it works out really well.
Good points, man. Yeah, and thank you for bringing up our good friend Cindy Breck. She's a wonderful human being, wonderful writer for what I've seen of her work and all that stuff. Congrats to her and all her success. And yeah, she's a cheerleader for a lot of people out there. So well done, Cindy. We love you to pieces. Hopefully we can get her back on one of these shows soon. It'd be nice to have, because Cindy, to a certain, I feel like you and Cindy are brother and sister just from different, from another mother. You know what I mean? Like you're connected in so many different, but you would not, you know what I mean? So we got to have you and your BFF or sister Cindy. We got to have you on the same show at one point. I think that'd
okay.
Be,
all right, that'll work.
Say, right?
She'd like that. We have. She is doing. I give it a little plug if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Heading up, and there's people from our writers group and stuff like that are doing that. That are doing one of these fairs ourselves. So not just attending. She is doing it, and she lives across from a mill, a water mill that has been rebuilt by a conservancy, a land conservancy in this area. They bought it and purchased it and stuff. And setting up at the end of next month, there's going to be this book fair. Man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of work that goes into these. And she and her family have done a fantastic job putting it together. And I think it's going to be a fun thing. It's there's, I think, about 35 to 40 authors and artisans that are going to be there and everything. So, yeah, good stuff.
That's really good. Where is this going to be taking place specifically? If people want to fly out from different countries or different parts of the land, because I'm over here in the Northeast United States, man. I'm in Maryland, so you got to be more specific. Where is this going to be? Where can we get our tickets? Where can we land our private jets?
Well, this is in Podunk, Ohio.
Ohio.
Yes, Ohio. It's called south of Worcester and Shreve, and it's Cleveland is probably the closest city to this area, but it is out there. I mean, we got Amish all around, so.
Like the Cleveland. All right. I it's funny you mentioned that because I was in Cleveland, Ohio many moons ago when one of my brothers was touring colleges to figure it out where he was going to school eventually. He just ended up staying in Maryland because, financially it kind of make more sense. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, I went to Cleveland, saw the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, did the touristy stuff, but that's about it. So I need to see what was it? You said it was a watermill. So I need to venture out into NYCHA, into the woods, wherever it is, and see the watermill and hang out with all these indie authors because they sound like a bunch of a great group of people. So, yeah, hopefully we can get out there at some point. You said it's next month, right? I don't know if I can take off work that soon, but
no, well, you know what? It's worth it. Tell me you got a medical need or something. I don't know.
Bereavement leave? I don't know. I can make up some sort of. Well, Lindsay, the educator over here, is gonna be like, "Oh, now wait a minute. If you're gonna be tardy or late to school, don't lie to me now. Don't do that." So that's it. Yeah, she's covering that ears. No spoilers. Tell me, Ryan. We'll have to wait and see. If I don't make it this year, what is it, John? I will do my best to make it out at one of these shows because I would like to see you, Cindy. I'd like to meet some of the other author friends of yours in their elements, and if any one of them is wearing chainmail other than you, that's going to be it's going to be interesting because you dress up when you do these shindigs. So
yep. I was going to wear the chainmail tonight, but I just
gee whiz, is it at the cleaners?
Yeah, it is. It's getting pressed. You know what? I put it in the dryer and it shrank, and now I don't know what to do with it. So
we got technical issues, fellas. We need to clean. No pun intended. Clean this up, will you? R.D. Marino, save my sanity here. How do you interact with your fans out there?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, it was the same thing when I first published my book. It's like, okay, now you got to market it. And it's like, I got to do what? And that's it exactly. I mean, like Ben said, most of us authors are introverts, so trying to learn how to speak to people. So I've done probably I'm up to about 15 different book fairs that I've done around here in North Carolina, South Carolina. I've been to Atlanta. I was just at a huge indie author book fair in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's been almost 3 weeks now, and there's a huge group of us that are on TikTok that has been another amazing part of this journey, and most of us were there together, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I got to meet all these people face to face and not in these little tiny screens talking to each other, and it was an amazing time. And I also was able to hook up with 5 different bookstores and provided them with my books. So now I have books with them. There's other bookstores. I've got a bookstore in Atlanta. I've actually got my books in a bookstore in Ireland at Inkbound Society. But I've been expanding in going to these book fairs and learning how to talk to people and how to approach them about your book has been a great adventure for me, because being able to talk to people, I've learned very well how to present my book, and I have a good display out there, and I've got a nice hook that brings them in. And then usually at that point, I can talk to them and kind of direct them on which way they want to go. And I usually do pretty well at most of these book fairs.
Gee willikers, man! So you've gone way beyond the days of Coruscant and Tatooine and Endor and Jakku and and Kratos and whatever the other one. What's another one? Geonosis. Like, you've gone far beyond these planets, brother. So well done. Well done. Your Jedi Academy, or is it a Sith? I can't tell because you have two different people on your wall there. So, but your academy seems to be growing exponentially. So, congrats on that, RD Marino. So, yeah,
Yep.
it was the will of the Force, wasn't it, RD? Is that what you're going to tell me? Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Let the Force be with you.
There you go. We're going to have to take that to the bank, folks. Let's put it on their balls. Healthy reminder, this is the greatest show you never heard of until you do, also known as the Writer's Showcase on the Anti-Quote channel. Don't forget to like and share if you're joining us live on the replay. Thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for these wonderful people, also known as some of the best writers in the world today, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. Ben, favorite character or characters you've written thus far?
I have so many characters that I have written that I love. Honestly, I love all of my main characters, and frankly, all of my side characters. Don't make me choose. This is a horrible, horrible question, making me choose. I will say the character that I have taken through the most growth. Let's say pre-orders just went live for the 4th book in my first series, which is The Devil You Know, and that's got Nick. And Nick is the main character from the first book, who then progresses through to the 4th book, gaining some friends and colleagues along the way. The book splits into multiple POVs after the first. But yeah, Nick is kind of an everyman in that we're all Nick. We've all started at some point in our lives having a dead-end job that we just didn't care about, but was enough to get us by while we longed for something else and wished for the circumstances to align, to give us the opportunity to show who we really are and want to be. And that's Nick. And he's gone through so much growth over these 4 books. And I've done so many awful things to him. And he's a fan favorite. All of my main characters are sarcastic, but he's also where the name for my small press came from. I own and operate Caffeinated Terrier Press, and I was trying to figure out on social media how to describe Nick, my main character, and this was in like the big era of golden retriever energy on like TikTok. And I said, Nick does not have golden retriever energy. Nick has over caffeinated terrier energy. And then it stuck. So yeah, I think the favorite character that I've written so far is the one who I've put through the ringer as much as I have, but has also like grown into a more faceted and complicated character. So Nick, secret, Nick has no last name. I wrote the first book and no one except one character got a last name, and that has continued on for the most part. So what's Nick's last name? No one knows, but he's still my favorite character.
Wow, so he's always getting there in the nick of time. Sorry, I just had to throw in the zinger there for good measure. I know, probably doesn't work well as it did back in the 70s when I wasn't even born yet. But still, I digress. Lindsay, favorite character or characters you've written thus far?
Well, since I've only written one book, debut novel, there's so many characters in this book. I mean, it is an academy, so it's a school. There's lots of characters. And there's so many that I do love, and I feel like I can't choose either. I've become so emotionally attached to them all these years. It's taken me 6 very long years. I have felt like it's been very long to get this book from start to now being published. So 6 very long years with these characters that I love so much. But I feel like the main character, Cameron, she will always have a special place in my heart. She's the reason why this story exists. She's the heart of the story. And her arc is so beautiful in that she arrives, or all the students arrive at Westview at age 5. And they don't have any memories before that. They don't know why they arrive at Westview. They don't know their purpose. But they go through school. They don't remember their families. And their friends, their students, their peers become their family. And so Cameron spends her years there searching for purpose, searching for answers. And she feels like there's more to her life, but you're not supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to challenge. You're just supposed to obey. Obedience is survival. And she's really one of the only ones that really starts to push the boundaries, and she craves identity. She wants to find her family. She needs that for herself. But with her friends, her found family, she does kind of have everything she needs. But as she starts to question, as she rebels and goes beyond the gates, she starts to get answers. And so things start to become clear, and she must decide, do I stay with my friends, my family at Westview and continue to live this lie, or do I potentially leave everything behind to find the truth? And so she's stuck with this dilemma, and there's all these other twists and circumstances that come about within throughout those pages. And the last couple chapters, there's unimaginable choices that she has to make. And so her arc, not only within the first book of the series, because it will be a series, but with over all 3, is her personal growth. She realizes that everything she had actually was within herself. And I wish I could tell more, but the spoilers would be unimaginable. I can't do that to you as readers. But surprisingly, though, Cameron's my favorite, but surprisingly, my favorite character to write, though, is Jude. And Jude is the character that I think everybody hates. You love to hate him. He's kind of like the character in every story, like Severus Snape or Draco Malfoy. It's like the one that's always just kind of poking the bear. You feel like there is no reason to love this character. But his arc is also, he has so many layers to him, and he's very dynamic. And I cannot wait for readers to go on the journey with Jude. And he's just a messed up character. And he's really fun to write. And he actually does have a lot of redeemable qualities that I'm excited for him to grow as well. So actually, Jude, I know you love to hate him or hate to love him. I'm not sure which one, but he's personally deep down my favorite character to write.
Well, the plot thickens, Watson. That is not a great sales pitch for a debut author right out of the gate with her first novel right out of the gate. I don't know what the heck is, because that was a great answer to not only the question that we posed to the field here, but that's a sales pitch, Lindsay. That's a sales pitch. So, yeah, I would say, I think it's fair to say, if I could speak for everybody in the building, you're batting 1,000 tonight, Lindsay. I don't know how you feel. I don't know how the other three gentlemen here feel, but man, you're just okay. Great sales pitch skills.
Well, we are a baseball, softball family in my house. So,
oh, is that right?
Go Dodgers! We love the Dodgers.
You're a Dodgers.
Or maybe I just lost a whole bunch of fans, so sorry about that. But
no, it's fine. You're a Dodgers fan?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. That's not a team we hear very often on this show. But hey, we'll take all comers, right? I mean, sports is sports. People have their favorite sports teams, right? I mean, it's Ohio, whatever. Ohio this, Maryland that, Watermelon, Ohio that, I don't know. Buckeyes, Ohio State, I don't know. What do I know? I don't know much about sports. But anywho, favorite characters you've written so far there, John. You have any thoughts on this matter? And please don't tell me that your favorite sports team is the Dodgers.
You know what?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
The Dodgers. No, it was when I was growing up because I grew up in the LA area. My grandfather loved watching it. And probably the funniest thing with my grandfather, he had emphysema, so he couldn't get around very well. But he would sit in his chair and he would watch the Dodgers. And it was before remote controls were really popular. It was just an older TV. You had to get up and turn it up and stuff like that. So the family got together and says, you know what? We need to give him the clapper. So it worked great, turning on and off the TV until the first home run was made. He started clapping. And the thing went out the window. It was gone. So, yeah, that's the Dodgers story. So, favorite character. I'm going to give you, okay, I'm going to start with 4, and then I'm going to whittle it down to 1. So, the first one is the protagonist of the first, and he happens to be the second story. So, spoiler alert, he lives. So, Francisco, orphaned in medieval Spain, 16 years old. He has nothing but a simple stone that can heal anything. Time travelers who lost the stone want it back, and they want him for a certain reason. And then you've got Mayuki, one of the people looking for him. She's a female samurai from 1184 AD, recruited by the Satiri time travelers with bionically enhanced speed and agility. She recruits others to protect history from the Chiari, the bad guys in the story. And she's with Angelo. He's like 50-something. He's actually 90-something, but he only looks 50-something. He's really good with his health. He is born in 3506 BC. He has jumped forward through time with bionically enhanced mental abilities and power over gravity. He protects history from the Chiari, and he's also looking for Francisco. And then you got the bad guy, the protagonist, one of several. Ceolwulf, an Anglo-Saxon warrior recruited by the Satiri and turned to the Chiari, the dark side. Bioimplants give him the strength he needs to either abduct or kill Francisco, which is his job. Which one of those would you say is the favorite? Francisco, the protagonist, Mayuki, the ex-samurai, and they did have female samurais. There were just a few of them. So I tried to keep this historically accurate. Then you've got Angelo from way back in 3500 BC and Ceolwulf. Which one? Ceolwulf ended up being one of my favorites. I like them all, so it's really hard. They're all children. It's like, you're all my favorites. But this Ceolwulf ended up, from an author standpoint, he started off as something, and he became something else, all on his own. I left my computer, I was writing, and came back the next day, and, like an AI agent, he changed himself, and the rest was history. But it was changed himself in interesting ways. So there's some twists and turns there. So I would say the bad guy, actually. I don't know if you guys have fun writing the bad guys, but had some fun.
I mean, Lindsay brought up Jude, right? Jude's a bit of a pain in the rear end, but then again, she loves writing that character. So, and they say, and by the way, they've said this for years, is that the antagonists of the story, the evil ones, are the most fun to write, if not the most fun to act out in a movie or a television series. So playing the evil one, playing the bad guy or just the evil person is more fun than playing a good person. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I played any villains in my acting career. I don't think I have. I played scheming stepchild, but I don't know. I have to think about that. I mean, I wasn't the Curious Savage in high school, but I don't know if that counts as being 100% evil. But anyway, I digress. Your sales pitch for both of your books there, what was it, John? You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. So I'll tell you a secret. So a little birthday of mine's coming up in a couple of weeks here. So if I get a gift card to the Zon of Amazon, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into that jungle, and if I find your 2 books sitting there, I'm going to be like, you know what? I like the Assassin's Creed, Last Samurai vibes, time travel vibes I'm getting from this guy. I may need to sit my keister down and read these books, son. So I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna add your books to my wish list. And if I have a coin left over from all, depending on what I get for the celebration known as a birthday, I will purchase these books. Because you and I actually talked about this when we had the one-on-one interview with you, right? You mentioned like, if you had a stone that could heal all, what would you do with it? And we got deep into that discussion, brother. That felt like I was on an episode of Dr. Phil, but one of the better episodes of that show, by the way. So I didn't like walk off the stage. I didn't like yell in John's face, say, "How dare you ask me these questions on this show?" No, it was it was a deep discussion. I will give John credit where credit is due. I feel during that episode, I thought to myself, why am I here? John should just host the show. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he doesn't need me. What am I even doing here? I'm not even supposed to be here today. You know, I'm not even supposed to be at work today. Clerks reference. But but thank you for describing your characters in great details, and also some of the storylines that take place within your said character storylines. Artie Marino, I'm just curious. You've written how many now? Three books, a trilogy like Star Wars? Because Star Wars was a trilogy, right? There were no other movies before or after. But what is, that's a debate for another show. We can all sit here and debate that for another show. Trust me. I have a show called Nerdy Cantina where all we do is talk Star Wars, which, by the way, if anyone wants to join in on that one of these days, let me know in the comments, or just let me know in the emails that we've all been exchanging with each other the last several weeks. But Artie Marino, do you have a favorite character or characters you've written so far in your not one, not two, but 3 books?
Yeah, well, technically there's 5, but I released book 3 this week, so
spoilers.
We'll go from there. Yeah, a little bit of spoiler. Yeah, so for me, there's 2 main characters that run through all 3 books, and that's Connor and Christina. And Connor in the beginning, he's a young warrior. He's following in the footsteps of his older brother, who's been doing this for a while. But Connor also has the ability to get glimpses of the future. So as he goes through, he starts to understand a little more what these glimpses are and how they're going to help him as he matures. And you see him mature through the book, and how he grows into the person that he is as the books continue on. And then you've got Christina, who is actually the Emperor's daughter, who is, you come to find out, she is a bit of a warrior herself, who had been trained by Connor and Adam when they were young. And but she also is into science, and has the ability to understand some of the sciences and stuff that helps them get out of some of the trouble that they're in, dealing with the Emperor's younger brother Lorenzo, who's plotting to overthrow the throne. And so you see the growth of the 2 of them. And the other thing that I did is when I wrote the first book, it was supposed to be a one and done, but afterwards it was like, no, I've got more to tell. So what I did is I sliced and diced it. I said, okay, so for book 2, we're going to lean into Connor more. Book 3, we're leaning into Christina more. And then book 4 is actually Christina and Connor together. So that's kind of how I sliced and diced the book so far. And then book 5, I'll just leave that alone for right now, because I'm still about 3/4 of the way through it, and there's a lot still going on in there. But that's kind of how I've parsed it out, and that's why I really enjoy those characters, because they've continued to move and grow through the 3 books, almost 4 books now.
Wow, just couldn't get enough of it, could you? Had a cup of coffee one day, wrote a story, and then you're like, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. It's yeah, that was fun. Let's do it again. And you just want to keep going. And it's like you're like an Energizer Bunny, brother. You just keep going and going and going. With that being said, next question to the field before I get too far ahead of myself. When you're writing stories there, Ben, do you listen to any music while you're writing? And if someone wants to know more about you and the incredible stories you've been putting out within the last few years, where can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, thank you for that. I do sometimes listen to music when I'm writing. It has to be something that has no lyrics, though, because lyrics are distracting. Even if it's a song that I've listened to a million times, lyrics engage my brain. And so I listen to either, I'll listen to lo-fi or synthwave, which is like electronic lo-fi, I guess. I don't know. It's, synthwave girl and lo-fi boy are like two of my favorite channels of music to listen to while I'm writing. But as far as where to find me, you can find me on all of social media except for the Blue Bird. And I've got my website, benshankman.com. I do have to go, so thank you for having me. And go check out my latest book, which is going to be released October 19th, A Little Death Among Friends. It's The Devil You Know, book 4. It's up for pre-order now. So very nice chatting with everyone, and nice talking.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, for being with us. We wish you nothing but success, and be safe out there. If you ever want to come back for a sequel, because these days, Sydney, you got to make a sequel. Let us know, man. We'll bring you back. So take it easy, man. Be safe. All good things. All good things. Appreciate it, man. And let's see what else we got going on here. So music-wise, because we all know music is a language of the soul. Lindsay, my dear Lindsay, tell me if you remember this. Are you coming to the tree? Anyway, do you listen to any music? Yeah, while you're writing these stories, and if so, what kind of music is it, other than the fact that the Hanging Tree is one of the best songs ever performed?
Thank you, Hunger Games. Hopefully I get 100 points for that.
10 points for Gryffindor. Oh,
thank you. It's Slytherin, actually, but
I don't see you as a Slytherin, but I'll let it slide.
Definitely Slytherin. Yes, for sure. I listen to music when I write. This is going to say a lot about who I am. I create a whole playlist for my novel when I'm writing. So I carefully curate a whole, actually I started with a mood board actually. So I'm very old school. I'm paper pencil. So I create images and the whole vibes and everything for the atmosphere, the feeling, the vibes for my novel before I'm writing, while I'm writing, if I need to get some inspiration, if I'm getting writer's block, and I can go back in. But then also at the same time, I need music. I'm a very sensory person, so I do need music when I'm writing. And so I have a playlist for the whole entire book while I'm writing, but then I also make playlists for main characters. So if I need to get into the headspace of that character, I will listen to specific playlists for that character. And so I've got a lot going on. It just depends on what I'm writing, where I'm at in the story. But because I think I talked about this earlier, but I don't write. I don't have the freedom to write all year long with my busy schedule. And so I do kind of chunk my writing. So sometimes I do need to just kind of get back into the headspace of the world and the characters. And so that does, listening to specific music or seeing those images and those mood boards gets me back into the world, gets me back into the characters a lot faster. And so it does help me, lyrics or not. I listen to it all.
Look at you, pen and pencil, or no, pencil and pen. Excuse me, pencil and paper. Those are two words I've not heard in a long time.
Yes,
a long time.
Yep.
You know him. Well, of course we know him. He's me. Anyway, there's another quote from a movie that turns 50 next year, unbelievably enough, and they're going to re-release it in theaters for everybody to see. And they're talking the original cuts too, not the special edition cuts, Lindsay. So if I were you, I'd get your tickets when they go on sale for next year in 2027. Yeah, I'm just, here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. They're going to release the original, right, with new what's Star Wars, but it was retitled New Hope, and then they're going to see how much it's going to, all the coin it's going to rake in, and then they're going to realize, oh wait, there's 2 other movies we could re-release. Oh yeah, they're called Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Give us the original cuts, and we'll all be happy and go home happy, and that's true. So
yeah, probably.
I'm hoping that happens, because that was a great experience for us as kids back, for me anyway. As a kid back in the 90s when the special editions were coming out in 97, my family took us to see them in the biggest theater possible, and it was one of the best theatrical experiences of our lives. So Can we just get that magic back again? So it would be nice, Hollywood woke up and smelled the flipping coffee every now and then. Just saying, man, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. So there's your music chime right there. John, I'm just curious, do you listen to any music when you're writing these really, really well thought out and detailed stories?
Yes, but I do want to make a Star Wars reference.
Oh, no. I knew it was coming.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I got the sketchbook up there. You can't really see it from where it's the blue thing over in the corner. You mentioned, as a kid, I saw it in the 90s, and I'm thinking, man, I'm old. I remember.
None of us in this building look a day over 25.
Yeah. Well, thanks. No. So, I did see it in original 77, and my brother and I snuck into the theater a few times to be able to see it. I think I saw it like 7 times in theater or something. And one time we brought a tape recorder in on a pillow, Lord. And my excuse was my brother needed the extra boost because he was shorter. And when I told the vendor there, the cashier, that he needed the boost, man, he was mad at me for like a week for saying, I'm not short. So we took it in and then we listened to it. I think we memorized the dialogue for A New Hope. So music, this is going to be short, pretty much the same as Ben and Lindsay. I listened to Ben was saying, I listened to these two, and I'm thinking, yeah, checkbox. And it does have to be lyricless, because I'll start thinking about the lyrics instead of the writing. And it is the mood of whatever the scene is. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I'll kick it in and say, man, I just need to feel this more. And that's when I bring it in. I don't think I've done the same where you have a theme song for each character. That's pretty cool that Lindsay does that way, but I'm not to that level. Maybe one day I'll reach that, but not yet.
Fair enough. For a second there, I thought you were going to say, oh yeah, my Star Wars story is I listen to John Williams when I write my stories.
There you go.
John Williams is like the cream of the crop, right? He's the queen of the rest. Oh yeah. R.D. Marino, does that mean you listen to your friend John Williams when you're writing all the Zeta 5 and the 50,000 books you're writing the series?
No, well, actually, when I write, no, music is a distraction. Lyrics, no lyrics. So I really don't listen to it. Like I said, I'll have the TV going in the background, but it has to be playing something that I've seen a million times, so it's not really distracting. I can look up, see what's going on, and can go back right back to my writing. But I do have one song that I play a lot afterwards that kind of motivates me, and that's Sorrow by Pink Floyd. For whatever reason, that just inspires me to keep going.
I don't hear. That's the first time I think I've ever heard that song mentioned on this show. So first time for everything, right? And Lindsay, I saw you smiling and nodding back there. You're familiar with this piece of artistry? This music?
No, but my dad loved Pink Floyd, so I wrote it down because I'm going to go listen to it. So it might be my new pump up song. So thank you, RD.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Wow.
You'll feel it when you hear it. Yeah.
I was going to
Especially
say,
if you do the live version.
Yeah, RD. I was going to say, I never heard of this song ever. Never heard of it. I'm
well,
a little young.
I've got 2 more years on you. Yeah.
I know you got a couple hundred years on me back there, but no offense.
Exactly.
No offense. No offense. We're all good friends here. All 4 of us here are friends. It's okay. We can say this to each other. Yeah, no, I've never heard of this. My brother introduced me to some of Pink Floyd's music, but because I grew up with 2 older brothers, just in case everybody's wondering. 2 older brothers, right? So they exposed me to some of the music of the Styx, Eagles, was it Boston, some of that stuff. But Pink Floyd was, The Wall, right? There was The Wall, and maybe 1 or 2 others. And after that, I thought, okay, Pink Floyd, I'm good now. Can we move on to something else? Yeah, sure. How do you feel about Steve Miller and his band? I'm like, yeah. I'll listen to Steve Miller and his band. Sure, why not? I mean, fly like an eagle. Come on now. You know the lyrics, Lindsay, to the sea. Come on. But anyway, yeah. By the way, I don't listen to those when I'm writing my stories, because if I listen to Steve Miller, I'm just going to jam out and not focus on anything else that I'm doing, because it's Steve Miller. It's Steve Miller. It's one of the best, all-time greats. There's no question. And the funny thing is, RD. Now, speaking of, Pink Floyd's one thing, but how do you feel about "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple?
Yeah, that's good. It's awesome too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Dad, my late dad, we love you and we miss you. He introduced me to Deep Purple with that one. So there you go.
Well, and you know what that's about, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I when I was a kid, I didn't think much of it, but then when I got older, wiser, and got the gray hairs in the back of my head to prove it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any gray hairs yet, but I'm getting there. Uh, what was it? I did research on it. I was like, it was written by a boat that sank, and it was a casino boat or something like that. It's crazy.
No. The music studio.
Oh no, the music
burned
studio that
down.
was on the yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was wild shiznit to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was Frank Zappa's music
Yep,
studio.
Frank Zappa. Yep. Like, can you believe that? That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, what's not crazy is how excellent this episode of Writer Showcase has been on And I Quote Channel. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments or the chat. Yeah, when I'm writing my stories, I have to listen to lyric lists or no one singing music, but I listen to music. It depends on what genre I'm writing in. If I'm writing a Western, I listen to Western theme music. If I'm writing something that's like a treasure hunter adventure story,
Yeah.
I'm very tempted to put on the Raiders March RD, but if I feel like I do that, I'm just gonna play it on loop so hard. I'm gonna get my fedora and my brown jacket on and feel like I'm Junior. Yes, sir. It is you, Junior. Don't call me that, please. What are you doing here? Anyway, I'm gonna have flashbacks to Last Crusade, so I can't do it. But yeah, I'll listen to like adventure type theme music, or if I'm writing stuff that deals with sword and sorcery, I'll listen to kind of what Ben was saying, like synthwave stuff. There's some good like sword and sorcery synthwave music. I don't know if you guys have listened to this yet. I'll do you all a favor. I'll send you the links to it in your DMs. Maybe you'll get a kick out of it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's good music. It's good tunes, good brew, good buddies. I feel great, man. I feel great. So yeah, there you go. There's another quote that no one's going to get except me. But still, that's how I do it when it comes to music. Who is an author, living or dead, Lindsay? You can name one that's living, one that's dead that you want to have a conversation with, and why.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going deep here, Lindsay. We take no prisoners here.
So easy. I mean, I love Harry Potter. Like, that was my childhood. So if I could sit down and talk to J.K. Rowling, that would be amazing. I like just for her to be able to create that world and those characters. I don't write fantasy. I always have loved and admired authors that can create totally different worlds and like magic, and be able to piece all of that together is just wild to me. I don't have the imagination. And so, yeah, those are characters from Harry Potter. Those are characters that I love. And so if I could just sit with her for a little bit and pick her brain about that world and those characters and the time that she wrote those stories, I'd be set. I would love that.
Author that's no longer with us you wish to speak with?
That's too deep for me. I don't have the brain power right now to think about that.
Jeez.
Come back to me. Come back to me. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that.
It's okay. Sorry. I know I gave you all a script, but there are other questions beside the original 5 or 6. I'm sorry. That's what happens on these talk shows, John. Do you have an author, living or dead, you want to talk with, John? Maybe one that's living, maybe one that's not so living?
There was a really interesting book that I read that was it was the title was Between Heaven and Hell, and it had 3 people together because they all died within, I think, a couple days or something like that. One was JFK, one was Aldous Huxley, and the other was C.S. Lewis. And it had them all. It's a very short book, but it had them all together debating. And I thought, man, that'd be an interesting thing, because they come from different points of view. That'd be an interesting thing to be a fly on the wall and stuff like that. But to actually join the conversation would be even better. So I'm going to pick Lewis from that, and I'm going to pick Tolkien from that, because they were both part of the same writers group, the Inklings, I believe. And I would love to meet them at the pub they used to meet together. And there's a couple other guys I met with too, and just sit down and say, "Hi, I got a couple of chapters here. Can we take a look at this?" And then read theirs and say, "No, you should make Gimli taller or something." That'd be fun.
No, that would be a fascinating conversation to sit in on, because what I've told you is true from a certain point of view. Had to drop it, RD. Had to drop it. Do you have a author, living or dead, you want to have a conversation with there, RD? Maybe that's one with the Force and one that's still on this mortal coil.
Actually, for me, it'd be H.G. Wells. I would love to have a conversation with him and see what he feels about what current civilization is based on what he had written back when he was writing his books. I think that would be an amazing conversation to have.
Good one.
That's a really good one, man. 10 points for, I don't know what house you're in, but is it Gryffindor, Hufflepuff? Which one are you in? Because unfortunately, we know that Lindsay is in Slytherin, which I didn't see that one coming on my bingo card tonight. I'll tell you that right now. But it's all right, Lindsay. You and I can still be besties. It's fine. I'm in Gryffindor, just so you're aware. I took the quiz like everybody else, and I got sorted. So it happens. I mean, maybe it's because I'm just a goody two shoes. That's why they put me in Gryffindor. I don't know why. 10 points for Gryffindor, but RDD. Good choices, though. Good choices. Yeah. This is tough because there's so many of them, right? H.G. Wells is a great. I would say I want to have a conversation with Jules Verne.
Oh,
Yep.
Jules Verne. How about that? How about Jules Verne? You want to kick it old school?
Yeah.
Let's kick it old school, brother. Yeah, Jules Verne is one of them, and then another would be, man, I gotta think of someone. Suzanne Collins. Throw it back at Lindsay. You know, you said you like Hunger Games, right? I like Hunger Games. I want to sit down with Suzanne Collins.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be amazing too.
See, I'm trying to help you here. Okay, I mean, you know, you could have just used one of your lifelines and phoned a friend. I would have answered the phone. I mean, you know, throw me a freaking bone here.
Hey, but like I started with when the question about your favorite books, like Harry Potter will always be.
Which I get.
Ride or die. Like,
which I get.
Yeah.
I completely get it. Do you have all like 4 or 5 different special editions of all 6 or 7 books in the box set? Is that what you have?
You don't even want to know the fandom. Yes.
Oh boy. We've created a monster here, guys. We've created a monster. It happens.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably have a couple editions of 1 or 2 books here. But anyway, I digress. I don't compete. I can't compete with Lindsay, though. That's against the rules. But no, it's good stuff. Any pieces of advice you would offer to aspiring writers out there, Lindsay?
Oh gosh. I didn't ever think that I was going to be an author. Like, this was not something I ever thought was going to come to fruition, to be honest. And so my advice is to, I know it's kind of cliche, but if you have an inkling, if you have that spark, if you have an idea, follow it. It took me 6 years to get my story to actually become a book in readers' hands. And it was little bit by little bit, each day, year by year, month by month. And I just didn't give up on it. And I didn't have a timeline, and I didn't have any expectations, and I didn't put that on myself. And my goal was, and this actually came from my husband, was, finish the story, write the story, and one day we will just print it and put it on our kids' bookshelf. And if that's all it becomes, then that's all it becomes. And that's for you. Get the story that's been in your heart and your brain, get it written, and that will be enough. And then it actually did evolve to something more, and more than I could ever imagine. And so I didn't give up on myself. I didn't give up on the story and these characters. And imposter syndrome can be overwhelming and scary.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I didn't focus on that. And so I think my advice is to take it day by day and believe in your characters, believe in your story, and tell the story that you are meant to tell. And it will happen.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a statement! The more you know. I mean, that's just. But no, that is really good stuff. And I haven't really gone on about this because I've been thinking about it for a while. But imposter syndrome is something I struggle with a lot. All of us do. All of us do. No one can say, "Oh yeah, I've never had that kind of thought in my head." No, you have. We all do. Right. It's human nature. It's human nature. I look at all the success that all my friends are having, like, RD, John, all, and they're all fine people. It's not like, but when I look at all their success, I'm thinking, man, there's no way I can get to that level. But then again, you got to remind yourself, doesn't matter. Don't worry about their level. Don't worry about what they're doing. Focus on your character, your story, your genre, the words you're putting on that paper, the words you're dialing in on that computer. Exactly. Focus on that. Don't worry about what's going on outside that window. Because if you think about what's going on outside that window, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it, period. So And you keep, you shared with us, right, that it took you 6 years to put out this novel. That, to me, first of all, thank you for sharing that. Secondly, I take that as you're a bit of an inspiration to me, because it's like, hey, I may have not only gotten one short story published since I started this, but I've only been doing this less than 2 years. So I'm very green. I'm very, very green. I'm very new to the scene, but I still got all these ideas, and I've still been putting them down on, whether it's paper or the computer, whatever it is. But my idea is to put together an anthology of short stories and have it out by the end of 2026, if not the first quarter of 2027. And because I don't mind writing short stories, because that's where I'm comfortable right now. It's a 5,000, 6,000, whatever it is. It's fine. I can work with that. I'm used to the kiddie pool. I'm not ready for the big kids pool, folks. I'm not, because writing a novella / novel, whatever, is a lot. It's a lot of words, and you got to think of chapters. You got to think of characters, where they're going to be in chapter 13 and chapter 16 and 18 and 17.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I've gotten past 14. And your book is just phenomenal, by the way. But I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of planning, dude. This is so much planning. I'm just not quite there yet. And that's okay, because I'm very green. I may not be wearing a green t-shirt and looking like Kermit the Frog here. It's not easy being green, Miss P. But listen, I'm in 2 writers groups on Discord. They're great. They're awesome. We learn from each other. We support each other. We go back and forth on, hey, this is my story. This is what I've written. Give me your feedback. Give me your 2 cents. Right? They give me their 2 cents. I go back, I fix it, revise it, do it, and then we see where the chips fall where they may. Right. But the good news is, they were looking for submissions for the Western Anthology last year, and I said, you know what, I'm going to write a story, and if it makes it, great. If it doesn't, I got nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over this. And sure enough, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but the story got in, and and they told me that, hey, your story's going to be in our anthology. I'm like, excuse me? Baking powder? You're telling me that a small kid from nowhere's land is getting into this anthology, and this is only one of the first stories I've ever written in my life? Are you out of your Vulcan mind? They said, yeah, we're going to put you in there. I'm like, get out of here. Like, no, we're serious. So, and then you know what I mean? Like, it just happened, and now it's in this anthology, which is insane. So
nice, very nice.
Who'd have thunk, right? I mean, a kid from the middle of nowhere in suburbia Americana who has ASD and struggles with putting his thoughts down on paper gets published in an anthology. Who'd have thunk? I'm very good at you know what I mean? Like, I'm very good at verbalizing my thoughts, as you could probably tell, Lindsay. I'm not very good at putting my thoughts down on paper, but I'm getting better. So, practice. Anyway.
One day at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about practice, I would venture to say. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with this. But anywho, this is the Writer's Showcase. Don't forget to like and share if you're watching this live on the replay. Thank you for doing so. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about our sanity and movie tastes, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat, or favorite sports teams, because we already talked about the Dodgers. So where was I? So it was music. It was books. I don't even know what the question was. John, help me out here. Where were we?
What advice that you would give to?
Yes. Okay. Now I'm back to where I was. See, I need producers like you fine folks.
You gave your 2 cents in with that too, and that's keep pushing, right? You might feel like, who am I, but go for it, and your skill will improve. It's like any other skill level that you work
trade. Yeah,
right. That if you keep up at it, now you may not be a pro. If you go for baseball, just talking about the Dodgers, if you try it out, you may not be a pro because there's only a few people who are going to be in that category. It doesn't matter. Go for it. You will accomplish if you continue to try at it, hack away at it, develop your skill. You're going to produce something. So now the advice that I would give, and you during the interview, you mentioned this before. You asked this question, and my answer there is typically find a writers group like what you found. And I mentioned Cindy before. We're in the same writers group. It's been very beneficial. But I'm going to put a little twist on that. And that is to say, one thing I learned during the writing process, and this is later in the game. It's not something I started off right away. But I would suggest, see if you can narrow down your novel, whittle it down. So you've got your story, whether it's a short story, novel, or whatever, that you can whittle it down to 1 sentence. What is it? And that's your premise. For example, in the first book I have, what would you do with a stone that can heal anything? And it's phrased as a question, not as a typical premise or as a tagline. But then another one would be, in ancient artifact, a future war, the shadows of time begin. And the second book would be something like, I'm just giving examples to see this is what a tagline or a premise might be. what if you were chosen to save the future, but forbidden to use the power that could do it? And so those type of things, you want to narrow it down. That also helps you keep focus of what the story is, whether you're a pantser or a plotter or whatever direction you take, that's the direction that you're headed.
Good stuff, man. I totally dig it. That's good stuff. I don't know how R.D. Marino is going to top that, but he's going to try. But there is do or do not, because there is no try with you, R.D. You've done this for how many years? 350. So if you have any advice, sorry, I don't mean to pick on him, but I mean, listen, we're all buddies here. We bumped into. I mean, listen, we met each other for the first time in person at a convention a couple months ago. So he and I have
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we met in person. He still likes me. He doesn't think I'm a horrible human being when I throw his, little age jokes at him, but it's fine. I don't mean to in a negative way, RD. I'm just messing with you, man. It's all good and fun games here.
And I'm totally fine. No worries at all.
Any advice? What do you think?
One of the things that I consistently pound on is if they're actually thinking about writing and they have a story that they really need to get it down on paper or laptop or whatever they're going to do. And if it's something that they write and that they really love, then there's somebody else out there that's going to love it too. It's not going to be just you, but they can't love it if you don't get it out there and let them see it and let them read it and understand it as well. But the other thing too that I'll also throw in there is if you are going to start writing, one of the things that you need to focus on, especially if you're going to be an indie author, is you need to start working on your social media before your book is ever published. That was one of the things that I didn't jump into social media until after my book was published and trying to understand how to market and the rest of it. And that's something that unfortunately we all have to learn and try to muddle our way through. But if you are going to write, then you do need to jump into social media before you've even finished your book. So that way you have a head start on what's going on. And that way people start to understand you. And when your book actually comes out, then you've reached a few people and start to get a following immediately once that book is out there.
This is why he's one of the wisest Jedis we've ever met in our careers. Great advice. And it's funny that you bring up social media and all that, because Grayson is in the chat and he has a question for the field. Actually, it's a mixture of questions. So Grayson says, how do you specifically overcome writer's block? That's part one. Part two is best marketing suggestions, like you were bringing up, RD. And can I be like you find folks when he grows up, even though Grayson's in his 30s? Because he's one of my best friends, Lindsay, true story. But yeah, no. So those are the questions. Anyone want to take a stab at this first? Lindsay, you have a thought? Probably not. Or maybe she just needs a Jeopardy theme song to start playing in her head. Can we play the Jeopardy theme? Dun, 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 dun. John, do you have any thoughts?
I'll jump in here. Actually, if I'm struggling with a chapter or whatever that I'm doing, I actually go out and I'll do yard work and actually step away from it and then start to focus on other things. And when I'm doing that, then things start to process in my head, and then it becomes clear where I need to go and what I need to do. So that's kind of how I deal with writer's block when I'm struggling with how I need to move the story along. And then as far as marketing suggestions, like I said, jump into social media as soon as you can. The other thing too is try and find book fairs in your local area, learn how to speak to people and approach them about your book, and figure out, like John has, like a hook that you have for your book to try and draw them in. Those are some of the ways that are going to really get you out there and get you moving.
It's tough for you to follow up that one, John. But do you have any thoughts, or do you need me to play the Jeopardy theme for you again, like I'm doing with Lindsay over here?
Would you please? Yeah, in harmony. Okay, so I would agree with JD too. There's in saying that go out and sometimes you need a little distraction. I mean, how many times? Not even just with writing, but just things in general. You're working on something and you can't figure it out. You go in, like you're taking a shower, and all of a sudden, whoa, there it is. And it just pops in. One of the things that inspires me to write a certain scene, usually, not always, but usually is the dialogue between characters that sparks a scene. And that's when those creatures are speaking in your head, and you got to get them out so everybody else can share the same turmoil that you have. But if you put them in that situation, or some kind of hard situation, that usually jars something and gets it going. And that'll be helpful too, I think.
Good points. Good points. No pressure there, Lindsay. No pressure. Do you need me to play the Jeopardy theme or Hanging Tree for you again?
No.
Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think similar. I definitely go for a walk. That seems to be the key for me, going for a walk. And then I put like my book playlist on, and that helps. But particularly when I was writing Secrets of Westview, there was only 2 people in my world that knew about this book, that knew about the plot and the characters. And so that was one, my daughter, who actually is in the target audience for this book. She was a little young when I first started writing it, but she's 15 now. So it's perfect for YA. And then the other one is my husband. And so I actually would talk to them and kind of brainstorm with them. And so they were really great think partners if I was getting stuck on something. And so bounce ideas off of them. What about this? Or what do you think about this? And so just having somebody that I could trust that was close to that process, who I could bounce ideas off of, and in combination with going for a walk was usually the magic.
All right. Nothing wrong with a good-natured walk when you got to get away from the world. Yeah. To a certain degree, you don't need a fortress of solitude. So yeah, hey, whatever works, right? Just happens to be that way sometimes. Wow, man, it's been deep-rooted discussions. Just out of curiosity, though, Lindsay, 3 fictional books that belong on everyone's bookshelf.
Oh, Hunger Games for sure.
Okay.
Definitely needs to be. Verity was really good for me. That was a Colleen Hoover one that I was very surprised that I liked. I did not love all of her books. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I like that one.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one. I've never heard of it before.
I liked that one a lot.
Someone's got to do a Google search. I can't figure this one out. But anyway, I digress. John, do you have 3 fictional books you want to add to everyone's bookshelf?
That is tough.
I know, we're going deep, man.
That is tough. I want to throw 3 out. You said 3?
Yeah, 3 fictional books. They have to be fiction, though, specifically fiction.
Okay, so I can't say the telephone book, huh? All right, so
no,
I would. Yeah, do those exist anymore?
Yellow Pages. Anybody remember the Yellow Pages? Good Lord.
I would. I liked Ender's Game. That was a good.
Oh yeah.
There was a good twist in there. I would. There's an obscure book that you may not have heard before, Paralandra. It's part of a trilogy, a space trilogy.
Nope, never heard of it.
Book 2. And okay, so that was by, I got it on the shelf back here behind me. That was C.S. Lewis wrote that, and C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien, they were in the same writers group, like I said earlier, and they made a bet with each other. At least not really a bet, but a challenge. Tolkien said, one of them said to the other, Tolkien said, I will write a time travel story, believe it or not. And you, Lewis, he called him Jack, you write one that's science fiction, because that's out of both their genres, right? It was a challenge to both. Well, Lewis did his, and it ended up being a trilogy, and he published it. Tolkien, it got published posthumously. So that would be number 2. And number 3, I just had it. Oh, gosh. All right, forget it. Never mind. I'll come back to it later. There are 3. It's a mystery book. You'll find out later. Stay tuned.
Jeez, great. Now we're going to be waiting on pins and needles from all these people. R.D. Marino, do you have 3? I'm just saying, man. R.D. Marino, 3 fictional. Remember, fiction is the key word here.
So I'm gonna go back away. So I'll do Time Machine, 90,000 Leagues Under the Sea,
20,000 Leagues, yeah,
and then Dune.
Dune, you're going with Dune.
Wow.
I know. Are you excited for Christmas 2026 with the 3rd part of Dune coming out from Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how the son does with this. I mean, that's going to be kind of strange that the son is writing the father's old books. So that's going to be interesting to see what it looks like or what they read like.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm aware of
it's
that.
Brian Anderson or Brian
Sanderson?
right?
You mean Sanderson?
Well, Kevin J. Anderson, Brian Herbert wrote the prequel to
Oh,
the
yes.
Dune series.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like it, some people don't. I really like it. Like the
depends on who
Butler
you ask.
Jihad, the Machine Crusade, and others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
haven't had an
can't
opportunity
speak to that. I've never even read Dune because I hear it's like a sandwich of a book. So I don't know if I want to go through all that trauma.
A lot of politics.
I was going to say it looks like a very big sandwich there, Demery. I don't know if I want to read a big sandwich. You know, sandwiches like this one right here. You know, I mean that's a good sized sandwich. But if you give me too much meat on the bone, you're going to scare the kids away.
You mean like this one? Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a big sandwich. It's kind of big.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Is that yours?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, that's the first one, isn't it? Isn't that your first one?
Yeah, this is the first one. Yeah.
There it is. Look at that. Look how good that cover is. Whew.
8 to 5.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That is a sick looking
Thank you.
cover. Yeah. You want to see something really cool?
640 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see something really cool? Here's book 3 that just came out recently. Look at that cover. Look at that bad boy.
Nice.
Look at that. If that doesn't sell, and if that's not something you want to hang on your wall, I mean, I don't know what is. I mean, that is a sick ass cover.
Wall. Look at that.
It
So,
is, well,
and-
one is.
Yeah.
Can
and
I ask
actually,
you a question?
Yeah,
No, go ahead, John.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
No. It's your show.
hey,
I'm just
you,
here driving the bus, but go ahead.
This is usually a question that is like you're in prison. What are you in here for? You're an author. Who did your artwork? So that is that is a serious question. Who did your artwork for that?
So actually, the first book was done by 99 Designs. We did a cover contest, but now I have a woman in the Netherlands who's actually. I had to change the printing for Zeta 5. In the older books, it's a little thicker, and she couldn't duplicate that, but she was able to duplicate everything else. So she does amazing work. She's really fast. And she's done the second 2 books, and she's already working on the 4th cover already. But and she's very reasonable.
Nice.
I've been very happy with her.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, this cover twist of fate. I'm like, holy crap! I need that on my wall. Stat! Like that is.
Well, and the other thing too is today's the last day. All 3 books are still free on Amazon. Yeah.
On the Zon, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to add that to the list there, Lindsay. I see you taking notes back there. You might as well just write the Zeta 5 franchise on your note sheet. Oh, Post-its. She's using Post-it notes, guys. She doesn't even use paper. It's Post-its. It's fine. But yeah, no, that cover is sick. I think this cover is incredible. This just oozes mystery. It oozes something I want to find out more of. It oozes like you have to figure out what's going on behind that gate. Like I look at that gate and I'm like, okay, reminds me of the Hill House in Clue with Tim Curry who passed away recently. But at the same time, I want to see what's going on inside that house. Now, granted, if you have a character named Wadsworth who's narrating the story like Tim did, I'd be happy. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But no, I know. R.I.P. Tim Curry. There's never going to be another one. That's for sure.
No.
He voiced over 145 characters. He was in hundreds of movies in his career. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I grew up watching this guy in 3 Musketeers, Clue, Home Alone 2 as the concierge. I mean, there's a Legend. Legend is another one. He played evil in that one. I mean, there's just so many.
I didn't realize he had done so many voiceovers until I had seen
over 145.
Yeah.
145 voiceovers. And I remember him voicing some of the characters. I remember an anime series called Mighty Max. I'm a 90s kid, sue me. And he was the enemy in Mighty Max. And I thought, wow, Tim Curry's, I didn't know he did voiceovers. He's like, yeah, he does. He voiced over people in Darkwing Duck. I mean, he did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. It's insane. Go to his IMDb. I challenge you. It's absolutely. He was actually the voice of Emperor Palpatine in seasons 5 and 6 of the Clone Wars. R.D. Marino. I don't know if you knew that or not, but Tim Curry was Emperor Palpatine for a time. So, because he says in one of the clips that we were going to do everything we can to execute Order 66. You know, it's like, oh my God. Well, if anyone can play Emperor Palpatine, it's Tim freaking Curry.
Right.
So, I mean, he played Pennywise, didn't he? He played Pennywise at one point in It. So it's like, can the guy do no wrong? I mean, he's a creepy, well, he's played creepy
Yes, he
villains
did.
as well.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
Yeah. In the 90s version, yeah, with Annette O'Toole, Jonathan Brandis, it's true. Yeah, goodness gracious, 3 fictional books. But outside of that, this has been, I don't know if I can name 3 fictional books, because you've all named so many great books. I can't really compete with that. Let's see. You know what? I don't have it here, but this is book 4 that just came out recently in the Bodyman series by our friend Eric P. Bishop. If you're a fan of political or military thrillers that are in the vein of 24 meets NCIS meets Taken, the one with Liam Neeson, not the TV series. They're different. I'm sorry. Read the Bodyman series, because the Bodyman is about the guy who protects the offices of presidency. So if you're looking for like a 24 adrenaline rush that's kind of on that vein, check it. I'm reading the Bodyman book 1. This is book 4 that just dropped recently. Congratulations, Eric P. Bishop, on book 4 in your series of the Bodyman. It's freaking awesome. Book 1 so far. That's one I would add to somebody's what do you call it? Shelf. I haven't finished this, so I can't say that. What's a book I just finished recently? Unwanted Passenger by Terrence Leahy was another one. That's a novella. It's about a mail carrier pilot who gets caught up in a very unfortunate situation with a female passenger who takes him on a wild ride because she's, kind of done some not good things, and she's on the run from some people, and Mitch gets caught up in that. So that's another one. If I had to name a third book, where is it? Where is it sitting? Can't say Zeta 5. I'm sorry, Artie. I haven't finished it yet. Gosh darn it. You know what? Let's kick it Star Wars. Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray is one of the greatest Star Wars novels ever written in the history of mankind. Artie Marino, if you haven't read this flippin' book, I strongly advise you, in the name of the Force, read Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. It is a sharp, well-written story about the relationship between Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi that is set before the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah. So strongly advise you. There you go. There's. See, I took it to a couple of different genres. I'm trying to stick out the script. I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody for joining us on this episode of the Writers Showcase. This has been wonderful, and at the same time, it's been educational. So thank you for being here. Lindsay, if someone wants to know more about you, follow the incredible adventures that are going on, and what's going to happen next for Westview, where can they follow you?
Yes, on Instagram, L Good Pastor Writes, or LD Good Pastor Writes on Instagram and TikTok, but mostly I'm on Instagram, so you can follow me there.
Stupendous. Thank you for being here. John Newton, if someone wants to know about you and the incredible things you're doing over there, where can they follow you?
Usually Instagram also would be Newton Sci-Fi. That's where I'll have a lot of the things that will come up with the different events. We'll take pictures. I love taking pictures of the people that pick up the books at book fairs. Unfortunately, I'm very bad at taking the pictures because I'm busy with doing a bunch of other things. But when I can, I try to take pictures of them. And also on Facebook, there is a author's page, John Newton, Newton Sci-Fi. And also, I've not been doing it recently, but YouTube, also Newton Sci-Fi, no dash, SEIFI.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you for being with us. Greatly appreciate it. And R.D. Marino, you kind sir. Someone wants to know more about you and the incredible stories you're writing over there, even though you only said it was going to be originally 1. 1 became 3. 3 became 5. Now you're working on 600 more. But if someone wants to know more about you and the craziness that ensues within the Zeta 5 universe, where can they follow you?
Yeah, so Instagram, it's R.D. Marino Author. TikTok, it's also R.D. Marino Author. And Facebook is R.D. Marino, author.
Thank you, sir, for being here. Greatly appreciate it. And this has been a great show with everybody here. And we look forward to having one on here at some point in the future. If they want to come back for sequels, because these days, Sydney, you got to make a sequel. My name is Ryan. Follow me across all forms of social media simply at And I Quote Channel, which is listed right below my name here. You can also check out the links in the description of this video down below. Help us reach 1,000 followers on our Instagram page. All of you, please do, because once we do, we're going to throw a great big celebration with giveaways of ebooks, because we want to support indie authors out there in the world. And I think it's a lot of fun, don't you? In the backstage area, don't you agree? I think they do. Are they nodding? I can't tell. Producers, remind me. But still. So help us out with that. Movie watch-alongs are on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I Quote is normally on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be back for another episode of the Writer's Showcase on Saturday, September the 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us all for these wonderful forms of programming. Do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring the bell to notify when the videos go up to go live. Remember, life is better when supporting indie writers from all over the world. Take a look.
Strelin of Ulia is a cursed man, and cursed men are dangerous. He has traveled the known world seeking a way to lift his curse. So far, he has not found what he is looking for. When Trellin arrives in the city of Anshi, in the nation of Paraba, he meets a cold reception. The desert nation is unforgiving. Its people have proven untrustworthy, and the locals have no love for foreigners. Now, a wealthy stranger offers to lift Trellin's curse for a price, and he must make a choice. Seek a solution elsewhere, or risk imprisonment in the Tower of Ruhak, a place from whence no man has ever escaped. The known world of Atera, The Prisoner of Ruhak Tower. Now available on Amazon in paperback and on Kindle.
I'm a little tired, I'm a little wired, and I think I deserve a little appreciation.